I've got a big problem that I hope to solve today. Every time I need a can of paint, I usually end up buying a new one. Now I have tons of paint here, but if the can that I need is at the back of the shelf, I might as well just not have it at all. Stuff goes in there to get lost. Now some projects require specific supplies, but for everything else, I'd like to just use up what I have. And let's face it, paint is not getting any cheaper. Oh, what's this? We're pretty organized when it comes to small parts like screws and various fasteners, but these paint cans are another issue entirely. There's an endless supply of paint storage ideas on YouTube, but wall space in our shop is at a premium, so most of those ideas won't work. I'm already storing them under the bench, I just need to come up with a way of making this more functional. Since this shelf is blocked by this toolbox, I'm going to move all these cans out to a more open space, and then I'm going to make a really big drawer just to hold them all. So first thing we need to do is get this shelf cleared out. I'm sure a lot of this paint isn't even usable. Here's a can from 1992. Be interesting to see if that works. And we got some assorted other aerosol cans here. So now we know exactly how big of a drawer we're going to need. I wonder how many cans this actually is. So I had this tray made, which is going to be our drawer. Just took some measurements and drew out a rough sketch. And I took that sketch, handed it off to the local laser cutter, and they cut this piece out for me and then folded it up, and we brought it home here. And Scott welded it up and then put a little paint on it. So now it's ready to figure out exactly how it's going to fit in there and how I'm going to put the drawer slides on. And we'll be using these heavy-duty drawer slides here. And I have brackets to actually bolt them to the underside of the workbench. All right, I've run into my first problem. This workbench is not very well built. Well, actually, that's not true. It's actually really well built. It's just not very accurately built. This workshop was here when we bought the property, and I've been using it for, I don't know, 30 years now. And I've never really noticed this before, but let me get down here and show you what's going on. So this workbench is all built from plywood and 2x4s. We got some 2x8s up here and then a plywood top. So it's pretty strong. The problem with it is it's not square. So I had the laser shop cut these metal pieces for me. Those are going to hold the drawer slides. And that one over there, it shows you how it's going to kind of fit in there. It has to go back further, but that's where it's got to go. This one over here, though, it doesn't fit. It's about 3/16 of an inch off. Also, that rear leg there, I noticed that my drawer was going to hit it, so I had to cut out a chunk for that. So we're a little bit skewed here. We got to work around that. I'm going to have to do a little bit of trimming to get this all together. So let me get to work on that. I'm eager to get this project done. I've got a lot of work backing up I want to get to on our carnival ride restorations now that the weather is nice. Hopefully the time I spend on this project now will turn into cost and time savings in future projects. Let's go here. Alright, I think we got it. We just need to drill some holes now to mount this with. Alright, next step. Yep, I'll buy that. Let's see what we can do with this. This one's going to go here. We can decide later if we want to put more screws on or even put nuts on the backside. Divide that by 2. 27.1875 minus 43. While I work through the math on this, let's check in with this week's Ride of the Week.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Ride of the Week. Each week we scour the internet to bring you a different classic ride that's fallen on hard times and are now looking for a new lease on life.
This week we aren't trying to rescue a ride, I want to see if we can find a ride. This is the Steeplechase from Coney Island, New York. It closed in 1964 and was moved to Florida, where it reopened at Pirates World in 1967. Now back in the late 60s and early 70s, my parents would spend a week or so each winter in Florida, and I remember going to Pirates World. I remember wanting to ride this ride, but the year that I was finally tall enough, I realized the only thing that would prevent me from sliding off that horse was me, and I chickened out. Supposedly, after the park was closed, the ride was taken back to New York in 2 trailers. These trailers were stolen, and only the horse trailer was recovered. 1 or 2 of the horses went to museums around the Coney Island area, and the track was never found. So I really want to know what happened to the horses. Are they in the hands of private collectors? Are they still sitting in a trailer somewhere? Does anybody know? So if you know something about this ride, I'd love to hear from you. Or if you know about a ride that's rotting away in a field somewhere and you'd like to see it rescued, let me know about that. You can contact me directly through rescue@peterondeau.com. To make it easy, if you aim your smartphone at that QR code on the screen, it'll fire off an email to me.
And that's been this week's Ride of the Week.
That should do it. Do we like it? I think so. I'm just going to put 2 screws in the front for now. A little high in the front, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, so if that's there, center line. I'm curious whether I'm going to have to add some additional bracing to hold the amount of weight I intend on putting in this drawer. This can go in now. We've got one last thing to do, and that is to transfer our drawer slide marks onto this piece. So we need to slide this out of here. We'll have to take a trip to Lowe's here and get some more proper matching hardware. As I've traveled around the country, I've realized that some areas it seems like everybody loves Home Depot and everybody hates Lowe's. And then in other places it seems like everybody loves Lowe's and hates Home Depot. What's it like in your area? We want, I believe, right there. there's that. Has to go in here. Get this hooked to this. Okay. So you come up a little bit on this side. I do believe that's it. All right, I got the drawer installed, and it was just as much fiddly work as I thought it was going to be, but I'm happy with the results, and now I can start filling it up. I'm making a bed for you, so you can sleep here.
What?
You can sleep under my workbench.
Why?
Well, because there's not much room left for you in the house. Nanny thinks she wants to use that bedroom for something else. So we're going to let you sleep out here. So I made a nice bed for you. What do you think?
Yeah. It's a little bit dirty over there.
Well, you don't sleep at that part.
No.
Want to try and get in?
Yeah.
Okay. Hop up. See if you fit under there. Yeah, you fit pretty good in there.
I sleep in a drawer.
What do you think? Probably not really a good place to sleep, huh?
It's like a bunk bed up there.
Looks like a bunk bed. It does look like a bunk bed.
Bunk bed.
So,
I do fit under there.
you do fit under there, yep.
Yeah, because I'm a little kid.
Yeah. All right, time to start putting this stuff in here. I don't really have a great plan yet, but we'll put it in and see how it goes. I think we're going to put all the big cans towards the back. Double stack the quartz. Oh, here. I'm thinking about putting a plywood front on the drawer. It'll dress it up and help prevent dust from settling in there. I think that's all that's going to go in there. All right, here we go. Works pretty nice. And it turns out there's just enough room down here beside the drawer slides that we can fit a row of cans. And this will be for the brake clean and stuff like that. I'll have to make a strap to go across them just so they don't accidentally tip off of there. So with that project done, as I'm continuing to work on restorations and I need a can of paint, the idea is to grab them out of here. And if a can is bad, we throw it out, cull the herd, and move on. But speaking of testing whether a can of paint is bad, we've got our can of 1992 triangle paint here, and gonna open it up and see what it looks like. Opening up this can is gonna tell me a whole lot about whether this project was even worthwhile. If all of these cans are bad, then it's going to be nice to have this drawer, but it's not going to do the original idea of helping me use up this paint. All right, let's get this open and see what it looks like. This came from, I say, Triangle Building Center, which I believe went out of business in 1993. This can is from 1992. Oh, it is a little, well, I think we can mix it. This is supposed to be royal walnut. It's practically a full can. I either bought this and didn't like it, or I only needed to stain something very small. I think I didn't like it. This is Polyshades. This was stained in polyurethane in one step, and I seem to remember not liking it. We'll just start for a little while longer, give it the best chance of working. Let me get a brush. I think this works as good as it ever did. I remember not liking this stuff. It was all in one step, which seemed like a good idea, but you couldn't get the stain brushed out to the way you liked it, and then at the same time have the polyurethane looking good. If I recall correctly, that was my take on it. So I would have to say that this 32-year-old stain still works, and I think the overall plan with this whole drawer is going to work out really well for helping us use up all of this paint and put it to use towards our restoration projects so we don't have to keep going out and buying paint for little one-off jobs. So that is a win as far as storage goes. Our small part storage is working out really well. And if you want to see how we did that, click that link to the left and come along for the ride.